You're listening to the Show We Go Baseball podcast.
I'll start us off. You're in AAA now. Last time I talked to you, you were fresh here. You got a whole home series now. What have been your takeaways, I guess, so far in Worcester?
I'd say the takeaways is just, being able to adjust to the zone, I think is the biggest thing for me. Obviously, in the past, it's been strike throwing has been my problem, and this year it's been pretty successful in AA, and then here, it's had its ups and downs. So I think the biggest thing is still going through my, my routine of, just attacking every hitter, not changing anything. The walks are going to be there for me. That's kind of how my MO, I got, pretty good stuff, and, sometimes it is hard to control in the zone. So I think just being able to limit the damage when things do go wrong, because, you're not going to have your best stuff every day. So I think having, some subpar stuff and being able to be successful in those innings I don't have the best stuff is going to be the big thing, and I think the biggest thing at this level for me.
So you said it, like, walks are just going to be a thing, just given the arsenal you have, but what has clicked this year? Like, obviously the walk rates are way down. You obviously you had them way down in AA this year. You're striking out everybody. So I guess what clicked this offseason? Like, was it the new regime? Like, was it just, what was it?
I honestly think it's just a combination of everything. I think you could say, getting the body in better shape, mechanics, this, that, the other. I think it's honestly just a mix of everything, and it finally just clicking, being able to repeat kind of this. I have a delivery that's, I think, kind of hard to repeat, but just being able to keep it in a ballpark of being able to repeat it pretty close every time and just being in the zone. I think I told myself, I think I was giving hitters too much credit the last few years, and I'm just, I'm trying to throw everything in the zone and let the guys get themselves out. I got the stuff to be able to get away with some mistakes, so being in the zone is the main thing. Let the guys get themselves out, and, when I get to those 2-strike counts, that's kind of when it's time to kick in and, throw the nasty strikeout pitch. So I think just understanding, learning the game a little more of just, I got to throw strikes to be successful and be able to move my way up, not just having nasty stuff.
I always think, too, that guys, when I look at your player pages and I see that a guy in the system was in Lowell, I'm like, oh, that guy's been around for a little bit. Obviously, Lowell's no longer a thing. Yep. So you've been here for a little bit. You've seen the organization go through some changes high up in the front office, all the way down through coaches. You coming up. What were your thoughts of? I may have also asked you this in the offseason when you came on the pod. Thank you for that. But what have you thought, I guess, now that you've had a chance to kind of implement it, pitch a little bit during the season, of like Willard, Bailey, Breslow, and the drive line guys?
Yeah, I'm old now. If I'm in Lowell, I'm old, but I'm still, I feel this is the best I've felt, any year. So I'm still feeling young, and obviously been through some changes and stuff, and it's kind of like I wasn't like questioning, when they kind of first came out with everything, because I'm kind of the one that I'm going to experiment and kind of see how it is. I actually went to Driveline, maybe 2 off seasons ago, so I'd had a little bit of a taste, and I kind of just took what they were giving and ran with it. I really learned some good things with the weighted balls and, kind of the pitch design / usage. It really, you can kind of see like in the behind the scenes with what my, how my pitches really play. My 2 off-speed pitches actually play much better than my fastball. I just throw really hard. So it's like them honing in to, really use those off speeds more, I think really helped me. And that's kind of the thing there you can see throughout the organization is, we're kind of going with that off speed first, off speed here, but I also keep a pretty, level head about still using my fastball. I'm not going to get away from it. I have a big fastball. I talked to them about that and they understand, but, I think the usage of the off speed is what has kind of driven my success to this point this year.
And so you talked about this on the first question that I asked you, but now that you even started a game, you opened it the other day, but I know you haven't been doing that a lot recently, but you kind of mentioned getting used to the strike zone. Was that something like your first outing here in the ABS? You're kind of like, oof, like that was called a strike down in AA, or oh, that was a ball. Like, have you seen any of that yet?
I mean, I've seen it a little bit. I try not to, I honestly, I sometimes I don't even see where the pitch crosses when I throw, just because my head's, a little bit where I can't see, but, there is some pitch you're like, dang, and then you see it and you're like, it really was off. That's why, I'm just trying to throw everything down the middle. I think in Buffalo, I had like maybe one walk each game, and I didn't really see it until I think also is I wasn't as wild as the last 2 outings. The misses have been big. They haven't been like, oh, how is that not a strike? It's been the big misses which is what I have to, be able to hone in on and limit those. There's going to be the close ones that, you miss by a fourth of a ball. Like, that's going to happen, So I think just being able, I don't think it's going to be adjusting to it. I think it's just going to be throwing more stuff in the zone.
All right, I got a couple more questions for you, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
And this was a thing that I had talked with guys last year. So, for example, Ryan Fernandez, who's pitching very well in the majors right now, he was up here at the end of last year. And, he kind of had something similar to you where he had a very lively fastball, walked a couple guys, whatever, but he's also pitching super well right now. Have you had any talks yet, I guess, with the team, with Brian Abraham, with anybody yet on like what you need to do to get that call up to the bigs?
I mean, I think everyone knows it's throwing the ball in the zone consistently. I think they've pounded that in my head the last 3 years, and I have been working on it. I've been working hard the last 3 years. It just it didn't click, and finally it is, and that's the key to success, and that's going to be going forward. I have the nasty stuff. I've always had the nasty stuff. It's being consistent in the zone, limiting pitches per inning. Honestly, I'm trying to throw the ball in the zone to get themselves out early, and sometimes the swing misses, or it's a good pitch and they take, and then the at bat gets deep. So just being in the zone early, try to get those quick outs, and limit the walks is I think my key to the big leagues.
If you had to put a number, a guess, just wild guess, how many Chiefs games you've been to in your lifetime? What would that number be at?
I mean, I'd probably say like 30, 35. The last 6-7 years I've been only able to go to like 2 or 3 a year with the season. But growing up I went to some, and then obviously with traveling with sports and stuff it got a little hard and stuff. But I'm big now on I'm honestly all right watching them at home. Sometimes it's like I'm getting to that age where it's like I like to go and enjoy one, but now it's like I can sit on I'm not being cocky, but like I get bored watching them because we've been winning so much. It's like we win. It's like we're expected to win, so I'm just sitting at home on the couch, just enjoying the day. But then also it's like those playoff games, the atmosphere at Arrowhead's unbeatable. So you got to go to those games and kind of experience it. And it also depends on the weather. So
that's my last question here. I don't know if you've seen. I'm sure you've seen it. Them talking about building a dome, going to the Kansas side, all that. What do you think if they build a dome in KC?
I don't know. It's going to be cool to kind of see what they do with them and the Royals with, that Kansas downtown side, because it's a cool area, growing up, 30 minutes to an hour from there. Like, it's cool. It's going to be cool to see if they really do make the move, how the transition, I think the city will just blow up. I think it's blown up the last 5-6 years with the Chiefs becoming good, and I think it would only get better if, they've kind of renewed everything with those two teams and just kind of blew that area up.
I appreciate that.